What if one quiet morning became the turning point of a man's entire life? Ivan Vasilievich believed it could. Many years later, while discussing good and evil with his friends, he remembered a night that had changed the course of his entire life. "My whole life changed that night," he told them. It had begun with love, music, and a beautiful dance. But by morning, he would see the world and himself in a completely different way. Ivan was a young university student, full of energy and confidence. But at that time, one person occupied all his thoughts: Varinka. She was 18, tall and graceful, with a warm smile and gentle eyes. Ivan had been in love before, but this was different. He later told his friends that when he looked at Varinka, the whole world seemed beautiful. One evening, a ball was being held at the home of the provincial marshal. Music filled the grand hall, servants carried food, and champagne flowed. But Ivan hardly noticed anything except Varinka. Whenever he could, he danced with her. She smiled at him and often chose him when the dancers changed partners. As he later remembered, he was so happy that he felt almost like a different person. Then, the hostess asked Varinka's father to join the dance. The colonel was a tall, handsome officer with silver decorations, white whiskers, and a warm smile. He first refused, saying he had forgotten how to dance, but then he removed his sword and took his daughter's hand. As they danced, Ivan watched them with admiration. To him, the colonel seemed like the perfect father. Later that night, Ivan danced with Varinka again. They never spoke directly about love because they did not need to. Before they parted, Varinka took a small feather from her fan and gave it to him. Ivan treasured the tiny gift. As he walked home, he felt that nothing in the world could be bad or ugly. He was simply happy. When Ivan returned home, he could not sleep. He kept seeing Varinka's smile and remembering the way she had danced with her father. Eventually, he left his house and walked through the quiet streets. It was nearly dawn. The snow was melting, water covered the roads, and a cold mist hung over the town. Ivan felt peaceful. He had no idea what he was about to see. Near the edge of town, Ivan suddenly heard drums and fifes. The music was harsh and unpleasant, nothing like the beautiful music of the ball. Through the fog, he saw rows of soldiers standing silently. Curious, he walked closer and asked a blacksmith what was happening. The man looked toward the soldiers and explained that a prisoner was being punished for trying to escape. Then, Ivan saw the prisoner. The man had been stripped to the waist and tied between two soldiers. He was forced to walk through the rows while soldiers struck him again and again. With every step, he cried, "Brothers, have mercy on me!" But nobody stopped. Ivan watched in horror. Only a few hours earlier, he had been dancing in happiness. Now he could hardly believe what he was seeing. Then, Ivan noticed the officer walking beside the prisoner. At first, the figure seemed strangely familiar. Then, Ivan recognized him. It was Varinka's father. The same man who had smiled proudly while dancing with his daughter was now supervising the punishment. When one soldier struck too gently, the colonel angrily ordered him to hit harder. Ivan stood frozen. He could not understand what he was seeing. Ivan hurried home, but the scene would not leave his mind. The drums continued to echo in his memory. So did the prisoner's desperate cries. He kept asking himself why a respectable and loving father could behave with such cruelty. Perhaps, Ivan thought, the colonel knew something he did not. Perhaps there was a reason for everything. But no matter how hard he tried, he could not find one. After that morning, Ivan's life slowly changed. He still thought Varenka was beautiful and kind, but whenever he saw her, he remembered her father beside the suffering prisoner. His love began to disappear. He also abandoned his plans to enter military service and eventually chose not to enter government service either. One morning had changed his future. Years later, Ivan still remembered that morning. He never discovered why the colonel believed the punishment was necessary, but he knew one thing. What he had witnessed had changed him forever. It taught him that authority and tradition do not always make an action right. Sometimes our conscience sees what society refuses to see. And perhaps that is what Tolstoy wants us to ask. If everyone around us accepts something as right, but our conscience tells us it is wrong, which one should we trust? One night showed Ivan the beauty of love. One morning showed him the darker side of power. Together, they changed the course of his life forever. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the channel and join us for more timeless stories, forgotten wisdom, and powerful lessons from the past.